When you drive a Chevy, it's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Also presented by LiUNA, Labor's Local 663, Building Missouri. And as always, they remind us to drive safely in work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Well, we welcome to the show Republic Tigers head football coach Ryan Cornelison. Coach, thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Coach, a 12-3 season a year ago, all the way to the state championship game. Kind of put a bow on last season, if you would, and maybe talk about some of those folks that you're going to have to replace due to graduation. Coach, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I've got you now, Coach. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, it was a great experience for our community, for our school, for our program. Just a lot of exciting games, a lot of great moments, throughout that season. And had a lot of really good players, that graduated, but it sure was fun to be a part of, and great experience for everyone that was involved with Republic football. Obviously, anytime you lose your quarterback, that's a major hit, and Wyatt Woods was as good as any around, if not the best around, and he's a tough one to replace, and it was just a great leader, great kid. But really, we graduate 18 starters, basically the entire backfield offensively. We lose. We've got two linemen back from a year ago on the offensive line, and that's it from an offensive standpoint. The defense, we've got a D tackle back and a middle linebacker, but we lost everybody in the secondary or they changed positions. But yeah, so it's going to be a lot of new faces, a lot of inexperience, a lot of guys that we had Kendall Kerbo and Cole Gimlin were really good defensive players for us for 3 years. Cannon Kroll's our fullback. I go through the list of guys we lost. It's a lot. A lot of those guys played from sophomore year, so they've been 3-year starters, and so that's tough to replace. But we're excited for the challenge, and again, they got to see what it's like when you're successful, and hopefully that keeps them hungry going into the season.
What's the summer been like, and what have your numbers been like over the summer?
It's been good. Again, we're like anybody else. We got kids that are multi-sport athletes that we do, hit and miss with some of those guys on the other stuff they're doing. But I think we checked out a little over 100 in our 10th through 12th grade, and then about 45 freshmen. For the most part, the majority of those kids all show up unless they got some multi-sport stuff going on. So our numbers are good. That's about where we want them. And so kids have worked hard. Like I said, they're excited for their chance. That they've had some success at the JV and freshman level. Now it's their chance to step up and fill some spots. And it's a whole new look for us, just with our entire backfield offensively being new. So a lot of learning, a lot of growing this summer and trying to get better. But it's been exciting. They're working hard, and that's always good to see.
Between now and opening day of practice, what's your schedule like? Do you have many more days with them here in July?
Yeah, so we don't do any 7-on-7 or any team camp. So we take our 20 days, and it's basically practice. We'll some days we'll lift, some days we'll practice, but we see them every Monday through Thursday, whether we're lifting or practicing or both. So we still got some days left of practice. We don't do as much in June, just because basketball and baseball are so heavy in June. So we push some of ours to the back end of July or towards July. And so we still got some days left, and hopefully improvement we can make through July.
Now, with the new conference kind of affiliation or teams coming into the conference. It really hasn't changed your schedule much other than maybe Waynesville and Kickapoo.
Yeah, that's that. Obviously the conference was really tough, and you had Kickapoo and Glendale and some of those schools, Lebanon, obviously, just makes it that much tougher. It's going to be, it's always a dogfight in the COC, but that just added to it. So, great conference, great competition each week, and hopefully that makes for a lot of good football teams in the area.
With it being summer, a lot of folks on vacation. Did you get an opportunity to go on vacation, do anything special?
Yeah, we right after state track and prior to summer starting, there was a week there, and I've got two older kids. Both are in high school now, but we've got a 6-year-old. So we took her to Disney World, and stood in line for a while and did that whole deal. But so that was kind of our vacation this year, was taking the young one to the happiest place on earth.
You bet. Well, Coach, hey, again, congratulations on a tremendous season last year. That's behind us now. Good luck as you go forward, and thanks so much for your time today.
Hey, I appreciate it.
You bet. You bet. Coach.
When you drive a Chevy, it's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, brought to you by Liona Labor's Local 663, who remind us to drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their family as well. Continuing our football previews going around the state, go to Mid-Buchanan High School, home of the Dragons, and head football coach Aaron Fritz. And Coach, thanks so much for your time today.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Coach, 8-4 a year ago. Tell us a little bit about what you've got to replace, due to graduation, and who are some of those guys stepping into some of those roles?
Yeah, we only graduated 3 seniors, so almost all of our kids are back. 3 starters on defense we got to replace, and then 2 on offense. And, what's going to end up being something that's hard to replace that you don't hear about most coaches say is one of them was our kicker and punter, and he was very, very good at it. And that was kind of a weapon for us last year because we punted quite a bit compared to what we normally do, and he really knew how to flip the field and would boom a 60-yard punt out there every now and again. So that type of thing is going to be a big difference for us because he's been punting for us for a while too. So kids have had a great summer though, and we're trying our best to replace those guys.
What does the summer look like? I know you may still have some days of contact left. Have you had good numbers, and the weather's been somewhat cooperative?
Yeah, we get started right away, and every Monday in June and then one in July we host 7-on-7. So we just do football on Mondays and Tuesdays over the summer, and that we use all our contact days, but it uses enough of them. And then this week on Wednesday and next week we go to little camps where we get with a few other teams and get together and do some stuff. But yeah, we just go early in the week and then try to let them be kids the rest of the week if they don't have something else going on.
As you look at your schedule coming up for this season, are there many changes to your schedule compared to last year?
Weeks 2 and 3 have changed. Our conference is kind of weird since we have an odd number now. Every 2 years your schedule cycles. Whoever you had week 3 the year before, it will cycle to week 4. So last year we were a non-conference game week 9, so that shifts to week 3 for us this year because it's part of our 2-year cycle. So week 2 we don't play Holden anymore. We're playing Lexington. And week 3 we're not playing KIPP this year because the schedule flipped. We are actually playing a powerhouse out of Kansas called Centralia, a little Class 1 school out of there, and that's going to be a big one for us too.
What you talked about the numbers over the summer. A lot of times over the summer, you especially want to stay healthy. Have you been able to stay pretty healthy?
No. We've had a kid get hurt playing baseball and broke his ankle. And we had a kid get a high ankle sprain really early in June and doing football stuff, just drill work. But he's pretty healthy now. But, we've had some guys get banged up not doing football things. So that's been kind of frustrating, but that's part of it. And you deal with it, you move on. And and the kids are working to get back. So it'll all work out.
What's the schedule look like for you between now and when you put the pads on for real?
Yeah, we practice this morning. We practice tomorrow morning, and then we get together with a few teams on Wednesday, and then weights on Thursday. And next week's the same thing: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday football. Go somewhere on Wednesday, and then Thursday weights, and then the next week we kind of test and max out because we already did our Mission Dead week back in early July. So we test them and max out, and then we get started on the 12th at 7 a.m. and go from there.
Outstanding. And then the 30th, you're at Midway. Where's your jamboree at, and who's a part of it?
We're hosting it again. We're kind of in the middle of the four teams we have with us, West Platte, Maysville, and Gallatin. And so they like coming to us because we're kind of in the middle. So we get to host that again this year.
Outstanding. What's your staff look like as you go into this year? You got new guys, or just pretty much the same staff?
Honestly, that's something that's been good to us. We've pretty much been the same staff for the most part since I've been here. And we're adding a couple guys. One of them was a head coach a few years ago at Lafayette, which is a good get for us. But pretty much the same guys. We're just adding a few more guys who want to get involved and be around what we're doing and then kind of learn from there. And I'm always hoping our guys go get jobs and get things like that. And I know we'll have a couple do that.
Kind of talk about your conference. You mentioned had some people leave or whatever. Who are the members of your conference?
Us, which is Mid Buchanan, East Buchanan, West Platte, North Platte, Lawson, Lathrop, and Hamilton.
Very good. Coach, as always, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time. I know it's a busy time of the year. You kind of starting to get ramped up, and it'll be on top of this before we know it.
Yes, sir. It's going to be here very soon.
You bet. Well, hey, have a great rest of the summer, and good luck as you head into this year. And hopefully we'll get to visit with you on the throughout the season and even on the scoreboard show.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us.
You bet.
When you drive a Chevy, it's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And presented by LiUNA Labor's Local 663, building Missouri and reminding us to drive safely in work zones. Those folks want to go home as well. As we continue our tour around the state, talking high school football, we bring in Nixa Eagles head football coach John Perry. Coach Perry, thanks for your time.
Man, thank you for having me on.
Coach, perfect regular season a year ago, COC champions. Kind of put a bow on last year and what you're going to have to replace due to graduation coming into the 2024 season.
Well, as you said, we had a really good regular season, and then we got into the playoffs and won district and then got beat by Rockhurst. At the end of the day, we've got to win 5 games at the end of the season to have a chance to win a Class 6 state championship. And, what I want to do, hopefully, this year is make sure we're preparing ourselves with the end in mind. Last year I thought we had a great season, but we did not play great at the end of the year. Like that last ball game, Rockhurst was really good, really well coached, great football, team. But I just didn't feel like we played the best that we could play that night, and that's on me. We had a really good football team last year. We lost some really good players. When you lose Spencer Ward, Jaden Antonelli, we lost some really quality football players, but we have a ton coming back. The offensive line should be as good as there is, in anywhere in the United States, I would think. I mean, honestly, how many folks have a Jackson Cantwell or a Jacob Lyle or an Oakley? We just have a ton of offensive linemen. We're going to be breaking in a new quarterback. He's going to be a sophomore, but he's a very, very special talent that may take some bumps and bruises early, but I think is going to be a big-time difference maker. That's Adam McKnight. Our running back's back. We had 2 last year because we had 1 transfer in, but Dylan Rivera's back and should have a fantastic year behind that offensive line. Got some quality wide receivers back with Wyatt Vincent, who's one of the fastest kids in Southwest Missouri. Kevon Flint will be a fantastic receiver for us. We got a lot of quality guys back. So offensively, we should be really good. Defensively, we'll be led by Parker Mann, who had 130 something tackles last year. He'll kind of step into the shoes of Spencer Ward. He is a fantastic football player. We've got a couple of new kids out. Our corners were young last year, but with Randy Flint and McCoy Sullivan, we're going to have some quality corners that we think can go out there and do a really good job. Defensive line's gotten better. Like, I just think we're going to have a chance to have a special year. Now, a lot of folks could probably say that, but, we do feel really good about the team that we're going to have. And we've had a great offseason. We've had a great summer. We're just looking forward to fall camp.
As you look at just the summer, you talk about it being a fantastic summer. Have the numbers been good, and kind of what's been the protocol?
Yeah, it's been great. We probably have about 80 or 85 on the high school team. We have another 50 on the ninth grade team. We've got great numbers. We've got, some depth that can help us, down the stretch. And hopefully we can play a lot of guys early. But our summertime is fantastic, man. We have great kids. They all show up all the time. We don't have to worry about the work part, man. They show up and put the work in. And, I think that speaks volumes to the type of kids we have.
As with the changing of the conference, with the Ozark Conference kind of going away and the COC kind of absorbing some of those teams, what's the schedule like for the Nixie Eagles?
Well, whoever did the scheduling was definitely not in favor of us. If you pull it up and look at it, we start off with the 6 toughest folks in the conference right off the bat. I don't really know them all. I really don't even know all the teams in our conference with the realignment. I don't even know how many teams are in our conference, but I know we start with Republic, and then we have Webb. And then on the front end of that, I know they're, our Joplin, Carthage, Lebanon, like our schedule is front end loaded, which it really doesn't matter to us. We got to win. We got to go 5-0 on the last half of the season. So, we're just looking forward to that first game. It's Republic, which, as you know, has turned into a big rivalry game for us, man. What a great way to start the season off with having Republic coming here to our stadium.
As you look ahead, Coach, what are you doing between now and the first time you get to put the pads on for real?
Well, right now we're still practicing a little bit. We still got some contact days to get in. We're actually shuffling some folks around, trying some new positions, just making sure that we've got our guys in the best place possible for us. And then they'll get a week off before fall camp starts, hopefully to get away from football, get away from school, and, be a kid for a week. And then fall camp will start. And, we're just excited, man. Fall camp is kind of like Christmas, right? It's an exciting time for football coaches and football players.
And, one thing you want to try and make sure is you stay healthy, throughout the summer. Are you guys healthy?
Yeah, we've been very fortunate that, we got everybody that we started with. We do a lot in the weight room and in our conditioning program that we think helps us, stay healthy. And sometimes that's just a matter of luck, just being lucky and not having guys stumbled upon or whatever. But, we are healthy, and we hope to stay healthy through the rest of the summer and make it to fall camp 100%.
Outstanding. Well, Coach Perry, again, we're visiting with John Perry, the head football coach at Nixa. And, Coach, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time like you always are, and best of luck, and we'll talk to you throughout the season.
Man, thank you. Y'all do a fantastic job, man. I appreciate you, and I appreciate what y'all do. Thank you very much.
When you drive a Chevy, it's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective, and find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad you tuned in today for our LIUNA Labor's Local 663 Team of the Week, and we go to Fair Grove, Missouri, and head coach Bill Voris. Coach, thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, man.
Coach, a 12-1 season a year ago. Kind of put a bow on that, and what are you having to replace coming into this year due to loss of graduation?
Yeah, it was a really special year for us last year. Finally got over that district championship game hump. We'd been in that game for 9 straight years and couldn't find a way to win it. And then beating Stratford in come behind fashion last year in that game was really special for our entire program and our community and those kids. We graduated several really good seniors. We have our entire skill position group coming back, but we lost several good guys on defense and 4 really good offensive linemen for graduation last year. So that's kind of been the goal this summer, this offseason, is finding ways, if it's with multiple guys, to try and replace what those guys did for us last year.
Coach, as you look at your schedule going into this year, any changes made? I know there's been a lot of folks changing conferences, and that may have led to some other, schedules change. I know obviously you're going to play Stratford. That's going to happen for sure. But any changes to your schedule from the last few years?
Yeah, so the Midlands added 4 schools, and I'm really excited about that. Fun to get to see some more different guys, get different coaches, different programs, different stadiums, but also just from a scheduling standpoint, it makes it a lot easier. We added Reed Springs and Springfield Catholic and Hollister and Buffalo. Buffalo we were already playing, but adding those other schools to the schedule, it'll finally not feel like Groundhog Year where we're just playing the same schedule, same teams every year, but I think it's good for our conference as a whole in all sports, not just football. Adding those schools, they're very like-minded, similar schools. It'll be very competitive in all sports, and so I'm excited for that challenge. It also shakes the schedule up. We still play Mountain Grove week 1, which now Dan Swafford's the head coach over there, which they're going to do. They're going to be. I'm really glad we're playing them week 1, not week 9. And then we play Central week 2, and then we get into it's just conference games from there out, and it kind of mixes it up. We played Stratford week 6 for the last 10 years, and now we get to play Stratford week 9. So I'm excited for the change. I hope our kids are excited.
Again, visiting with Fairgrove Eagles head football coach Bill Vorst, the 2023 Springfield Area Tip-Off, our quarterback club, area coach of the year. And coach, as you look, you talked about that schedule a little bit. What's the summer been like? How often? I know there's limited days of contact, but what are you guys doing over the summer, and when do you get it ramped up for real?
Yeah, I mean, our lifting starts at 5:30 in the morning, and we go from 5:30 to 7:30, and then through the month of June, all we did was 7-on-7s on Monday night. We did a 7-on-7 night with Nixa, which is really good for us. And then in July, we do the same lifting in the mornings, and then we do a little mini camp practice at the end of that weights. We're going to go back to Branson camp this year, which is always a really good experience for our kids. We stay the night. I think all the kids look forward to that, getting away and kind of being just with the football program for a little bit. And that camp's always run really well with really good competition. So we're looking forward to that to kind of put a bow on it at the end of the summer.
Could you talk about a little bit about your coaching staff? You've got a lot of guys that return. How long have they been with you?
Yeah, we haven't. We've got the same guys that have been with me for going on 11 years now. Chris Holt and Mike Zanzi. Chris Holt's our special teams coordinator and our JV offensive coordinator, and Mike Zanzi's our defensive backs coach and offensive line coach. A weird combination, but he does a great job. And this is his 3rd year with us now, and he's really kind of been the addition. The school committed and our booster club committed last year to making sure we could get a few extra coaches, and Mike Zanzi was one of those guys we were able to get as a fully paid coach, which I think made a huge difference for our kids and our program, obviously. And then Ryan Buffington is in his 10th year with us, with me. He actually was a student teacher of mine. I was his student teacher at Marionville his very first year, so we've been together for a long time. Jeremy Fabian is still on staff. He's been with me the entire time we've been here. And then Paul Thomas is our defensive coordinator. This will be his 2nd year as our defensive coordinator, but his dad is a Missouri Sports Hall of Fame high school football coach, and Paul coached at the college level and brought some excitement and some new ideas to us on defense last year that I think worked really well for us.
Coach, those kids that graduated last year, have you got any idea what they're doing? Or you got some guys playing at the next level?
Yeah, we've got 2. Gabe McMains is continuing to play at Evangel, and then Sam Dartery is continuing to play. Both offensive line guys play at Mid-America Nazarene up in Kansas City. So those guys continue to carry on and keep playing. All our other guys are successful in what they're doing, and several of them are going into trades. I got a couple of welder guys that are going to be welders. I got a guy who's going to go to a big 4-year school and be an orthodontist. Like, those guys are going to be successful in whatever they do.
You bet. Well, Coach, as always, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time, and I'm sure we'll get to talk during the Friday Night Football School Board shows throughout the season. But thank you.
Appreciate it, guy.
You bet. Bill Vorst, Fairgrove.
When you drive a Chevy, it's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Also presented by Liuna, Labor's Local 663, building Missouri and building Missouri State. Hey, and Liuna also reminds us, hey, drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Well, continuing here as we make our trip around the state, here in our football previews, we welcome in Hannibal Pirates head football coach Jeff Geschwender. And Coach, thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, Coach, first off, 11-2 a year ago, district champions, Class 5 district champions. Talk about what you have to replace coming into this year. I noticed, I think maybe you've lost like 6 all-conference players just on the defensive side. So talk about what you got to do, what you got to replace.
Yeah, we graduated a really good senior class last year. I mean, you know, some of those guys have been playing varsity since their sophomore year, a couple of them since their freshman year, you know. So, you know, there was a lot of Friday night experience that we lost last year. You know, 4 out of our 5 offensive linemen graduated. You know, running back, couple receivers graduated. You know, then defensive side, you know, about 3 of our defensive linemen, you know, about 3 of our defensive backs. So we got some D linemen to replace, you know, and a couple in the defensive backfield, a couple of corners, you know, but good thing offensively, you know, return quarterback, running back. You know, a good offensive lineman that's got a ton of experience. You know, it's really leading that group right now. And then we've got Cooper. And then we've got a bunch of receivers that are competing hard, working on getting on the field. A bunch of guys that can do good things. So, you know, it's been good defensive side. Cooper. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
You know, defensive side, kind of the same thing. You know, we return a good defensive lineman, Trey Hoskins, return a good starting linebacker core. You know, just a couple of defensive backs. So, you know, we're trying to fill those spots. If you give me 1 second, guy.
Yeah, you're fine.
Hold on. Sorry about that.
No, you want to start over? We're only 2 minutes into it.
Yeah, what I was saying, like I said, we graduated big class, you know, 4 out of 5 offensive linemen, couple receivers on offense. I know defensively graduated, you know, like you said, 6 all-conference guys, you know, 3 defensive linemen, a couple defensive backs there. But, you know, we on defensive side returned Trey Hoskins up front, you know, who's coming in to be a really good one. You know, we got our linebacking core back and, you know, a returning free safety who pretty much, you know, handles our defensive backfield. So that really helps out. You know, offensively returned quarterback, pretty much our workhorse running back from last year. And you know, one offensive lineman, you know, good offensive lineman's had a lot of experience. So good leader up there. And, you know, we got a whole bunch of young guys that are just battling for spots. So, you know, it really makes for good practices whenever they're really competing against each other and see what we can do.
What has the summer been like for the Pirates? You guys 7-on-7, or you camps, or what's your protocol there?
Yeah, we do. You know, through the month of June, we mainly focus on, you know, lifting and speed. You know, a lot of speed training, you know, and then obvious weight room stuff. But then, you know, 4 times in June, we host 7-on-7s with just local schools that are around. You know, we host 4 of them on Mondays. Anybody that wants to come can come, you know, and you know, we do some good 7-on-7 stuff there. Then kind of the month of July, you know, through the month of June, we go from about 7 to 9 in the morning. Month of July, we just add an hour on to that. We'll lift for about an hour and a half and then practice for about an hour and a half. And that's kind of our camp series is it's pretty much through the month of July. We don't go to any team camps or anything. You know, we pretty much keep everything here at home and you know, just get the kids out there, getting as many reps as possible and try to get them as ready as possible. So, it's been going really good. We've had good numbers. Like I said, a lot of guys trying to compete for spots on Friday night. So that sets up for some really good competitive practices. And, kids been great. Attitude's been good. They've been really picking up on the coaching. It's going a little quicker than really what I expected our development is. We got some really, really good talent on the lower levels that are, just itching to try to get on the field. So, should be good next few weeks leading into the season.
As you look at your schedule compared to this year compared to last year, has it changed at all? Are there new teams on there?
Yes. We always start off with Elias. That's always good week one game for us. So it's always a good, tough game, coached really well. And it's always a good one. But, week two is a change. Jeff City got us off their schedule. So we added on Lutheran St. Charles was what we got there. It was, boy, we were looking all over the dang state trying to find a week 2 game, and it was very limited. But Lutheran St. Charles week 2, and then we have Troy week 3 still. Then we go through our conference schedule, and Battle dropped us as well, so we had to replace week 9 with Fort Zumwalt West.
Oh, okay.
So no Jeff City, no Battle, but we got Lutheran St. Charles and Fort Zumwalt West.
Well, very nice. Well, Coach, what's it going to be like here between now and then when you first get to put the pads on for real?
We're going to finish these last 2 weeks, finish our camps, trying to get a lot of reps, and then, coming back on dead week, it's pretty much dang near every day all the way up until week 1, so, there's obviously a lot of work to be done. If you're a team in Missouri and you're ready to go right now, then, that's going to set up for a long season. So, we got just kind of the same thing throughout finishing the summer off, doing our normal morning stuff through the next 2 weeks. And then, after dead week, we come back and pretty much keep the same hours, but just do some schedule adjustments on how we do things.
Well, outstanding. Well, Coach, I greatly appreciate you being part of the show, and good luck. And I know we'll talk to you throughout the season on the Scoreboard Show.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks.
You bet. Jeff Schwender,